What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Pokemon Emerald. In the last episode, we captured Deoxys over on Birth Island, and in this episode, we are here at a brand new location known as Faraway Island. This place can only be gotten to legitimately through the use of an old sea map, something that I can guarantee you do not have if you are watching this video. It was an item that was only distributed in Japan, and then I also believe Taiwan, and that's it. It was never distributed anywhere else, and it was only distributed for Emerald, not Fire Red and Leaf Green like some of the other event Pokemon that we've battled up to this point. So yeah, you don't have this, so you're going to probably need to cheat, just like I did. Use a Game Shark. Probably the most reliable way of doing it is to just straight up teleport here, as opposed to trying to finagle your way into getting the actual old sea map itself and then traveling here. Now you're supposed to travel here through the use of Mr. Briny, and then make your way on over here, over at the SS title, and then from here you can proceed on through the island. Now this island is not really all that special. I mean, honestly, it just kind of looks like they just dragged and dropped things into place here. It's very weird looking, but once you get all the way to the end of this little maze here, head on up this way, and boom! There you go. Now, the way that this works is, it's a little hard to tell. Now, Mew does kind of move in the opposite direction of you at all times if it can help it, so you're going to want to try to chase it down and corner it. Basically, spam the A button as you're chasing it, and eventually you'll just catch up to it, and there you go. You'll be able to fight it. All right, so Mew, much like Deoxys, is going to be sitting at level 30. So you're going to want to, right off the bat, start off with a Thunder Wave, much like you did with all of the others, or put it to sleep if you have something like Spore that can reliably do so. And there you go. Also, Mew has Synchronized, so do be aware of that. But luckily, we are not going to actually be using Mew or Raiju for most of this fight, because Mew is too weak for us to be able to use a level 68 Pokemon on it. So I have Latios for that, and it used Transform, which is going to throw a little bit of a wrench in my plans. Hopefully this doesn't outright kill it. Let's use Mist Ball here. I think its defenses should be strong enough that it can resist. Okay, good. That was exactly what I was hoping for. Now, since it does have Raiju's attacks, it is going to be a little bit bothersome to deal with, but that's okay. If we can just continue to lower it down into the red, we should be fine. One more Mist Ball ought to do it, assuming it isn't a crit. Otherwise, we're going to have to start this entire episode over, and, well, I'm going to have to start this entire episode over. You guys won't notice a thing. All right, get it low. Perfect. And we lowered its special attack, which is awesome. There's, I believe, a 50% chance of doing that with Mist Ball. And now we can start chucking Ultra Balls at this, of which we still have 50 left, which should be enough to catch this and the next legendary that we're going after. Now, Mew does have, I believe, a much higher catch rate than any of the legendaries we fought up to this point. I think its catch rate is 45? I could be wrong. In fact, you know what? No. You know what? While I am battling this thing, let's have a look at that real quick, because I would like very much to know for a fact. I mean, maybe if we catch it really quick, then who knows? All right, no, we didn't get it there. That's okay. But I want to say this thing actually has a bit of a higher catch rate. Oh, no, paralysis. That actually is going to be kind of annoying. That it can paralyze pretty often just because of the fact that it does have Thunder Wave at its disposal. All right, what is this catch rate? 45. Okay, yeah, so this shouldn't be as bad to catch as previous Pokemon. If we can just get lucky here, that would be great. And then we can probably fit the last Pokemon that we're catching in, that's event-related in this game, in this episode. That would be awesome if we can do that. Oh! Yeah! All right, that was nice and simple. We have caught ourselves a Mew at level 30. Beautiful. And yeah, that's really all there is to the old sea map. We have placed Mew in box 1. And so, instead of ending this episode here, I am going to meet you guys over at the next location for the final battle. The final legendary battle here in Pokemon Emerald. See you at Southern Island in just a sec, folks. And here we are, everybody, at Southern Island, the last event location here in Pokemon Emerald. This place can only be gotten to in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, respectively, and not Fire Red and Leaf Green, and can be only gotten to through the use of what is known as an Eon ticket. Now, this can still technically be legitimately obtainable even in 2020 if you are willing to shell out a pretty penny. Because you were going to need something known as an e-reader that could be attached to the Game Boy Advance to then swipe a card, which would then have the Eon ticket on it. you are looking at probably a minimum of $100 to get both of these items in working order to then be able to do this if you want to do this legitimately. I don't recommend it. In fact, a Game Shark for a Game Boy Advance is going to typically run you a lot cheaper. So, if you do this event, in particular, you are going to need to make sure that you have the anti-DMA cheat and the event enabler running. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. This is probably the most finicky event to actually get running through cheats. So just be aware of that. But the Pokemon that we're going to be catching here is all dependent on which Pokemon we already caught through, well, the roaming Pokemon. So we caught Latios. Therefore, the Pokemon that we're going to be finding here is going to be Latios. So I'm going to use a full restore here real quick and heal up both of you. Well, actually, I'm going to use just a lava cookie on a Raiju here real quick. But this island is, I mean, it's pretty, it's nice, but man, is it a missed opportunity. Those whose memories fade seek to carve them in their hearts. So you get the first part of the message here. Then you're going to want to head up here and press this button. And once you have the enabler and the anti-DMA thing going, there will appear the next Pokemon. Now, luckily, because this is not a roaming Pokemon, this Pokemon is not going to try to book it at the first opportunity. It is also at level 50, which is slightly more difficult than Latios was, considering Latios was at level 40. We're also going to be able to attack this thing a little bit more indiscriminately with our other Pokemon, specifically Raiju, because it is a Dragon Psychic type. I have to say, though, I am so freaking disappointed that this is not actually on Alto Mare, the location that Latios and Latios are in Pokemon, in the 5th Pokemon movie, Pokemon Heroes. Oh my gosh, I know that that movie is not like the most well-liked by the Pokemon community. Well, I don't know. I actually don't know the opinion on that movie, but I never hear it talked about all that much. I personally kind of like it. I think it's one of the better Pokemon movies, if I'm being completely honest. But on the flip side, yeah, it is a little bit cheesy and whatever. I mean, they're all cheesy. What am I talking about? But anyways, the location in that movie, Alto Mare, is basically Venice in the Pokemon world. And I love it. Oh my gosh, I wish that that location was somewhat represented within the games. I know that almost no locations in the movies are ever represented within the games, but my gosh, that one in particular is just, it's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. Man, I really wish it was in here in just some form or fashion, because that'd be so nice to be able to find this Pokemon in this location. Anyways, getting Latios pretty weak. Now, granted, it does have Recover, which is going to be a little bit of a struggle. Latios is the more offensively of the two, of the Eon duo, so you have to take that into consideration when battling it, and then also the fact that it is 10 levels higher. But, like I said, it will not book it on you like Latios did. So you don't ever have to worry about quickly chucking a Master Ball at the thing before it runs away. This is just a normal legendary fight like any other one in the game. It is not treated like a roaming fight. Once you catch this thing as well, it is also going to be holding a very special item that you're going to want to make sure that you get. Or you want to make sure that you use, that is called the Soul Dew, which is specific to Latios and Latios in making them stronger. Now, real quick, I actually don't know the catch rate of Latios. I do believe it is only 3 though, which is going to be a little bit concerning. Now, it's not using recover, which is nice, and yes, indeed, its catch rate is only 3. So this is going to be another one of those long fights, but thankfully, it is the last one that we have to do. After this, all that remains is, well, maybe rebattling gym leaders, but it's not looking likely, and then worrying about contests, and then one final encounter. And then we're done with this Let's Play. We are so close to the end, guys. So close to the end. And I just want to catch this thing. I don't care if this extends this episode to 25 minutes. Especially since we were already looking at about the 10-minute mark now since we caught Mew earlier. But if we could get this thing, that would be great. Oh, there's the Recover. I was waiting for it. Now, I don't mind having to use Thunderbolt at certain intervals throughout. I'm just going to use Thunderbolt here. I don't want to chance anything, especially if a crit goes off, because that would be bad. Let's see. There we go. Not bad. All right, it's going to use another Psychic. This Latios is pretty strong, so there is that to worry about. I probably also should have swapped Latios out on the way over here now that I think about it. That was not the brightest. Oh, well. We got Ghidorah here. I mean, the other Pokemon, they can tank hits all day long, which is fine. Let's try another Ultra Ball. This is hopefully not going to be another Lugia-esque battle. Because, my goodness, this is also why you want to use your Master Ball on that roaming legendary, because this right here, not including the fact that roaming legendary will run at the first opportunity. This right here is a perfect example of why you throw that Master Ball, because you're not going to catch it otherwise. You could eventually, but it's so not worth it. Like, so not worth it. All right, let's see if we can get that in there and paraflinch this thing. All right. Good example of how much damage that does. I don't care about using the remainder of my Pokeballs in this fight because this is the last legendary fight I have to deal with. Also, Latios doesn't have all that many moves, so this could be a long one, folks. It could be a long one. There we go. We're working on it. We're getting close. Never mind. We're not getting close after all. Yeah, this thing's going to use Dragon Dance, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't actually have any physical attacks, nor is it a physically attack-focused Pokemon. So, I don't know. I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, it goes faster, I guess, but the paralysis already cuts its speed in half. So, is that even really a concern? So, Ghidorah can just hang in there. I mean, I know that he's more of a physically defensive Pokemon, and so it's not going to mean as much, but then he's also a Steel type, so it kind of evens out. There's nothing that this thing can throw at Ghidorah that's going to hurt it all that much. Alright, come on, come on. We'll eventually catch you and reunite you with your sister. Eventually. I always thought this was such a cool-looking duo, too. Although, I will say, top of all my other freaking problems with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, although I will admit, I know I bashed that game earlier in this Let's Play. I will admit that upon a replay of the game, I am enjoying it slightly more. I still don't like it very much. I still don't think it's a very good remake, and it's why I'm very wary about Sinnoh remakes, because I just don't feel like Game Freak... No, I mean, when I think of what should happen with a remake is... With a remake, they should be going all freaking out. They should be adding as much content as possible to the game and making it the real definitive edition of the game. They shouldn't be skimping on anything. And that's the main reason why Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire disappointed me. But, we'll say, I'm enjoying it more upon a second playthrough. But the Mega Evolutions for Latios and Latias continue to be one of the game's biggest disappointments for me. Why do they look the exact same? It's so stupid. I mean, they're already kind of dull Mega Evolutions to begin with because they're just slightly more plain shaped and purple instead of blue and red, but like not even like a cool, it's like a dull purple. Like, I don't know. Anyways, we caught it. But yeah, it's the Mega Evolution for those two Pokemon. It's just it's so dumb. Oh, I hate it. It sucks. Especially because I love the basic designs. All right, we caught ourselves Latios, and ladies and gentlemen, we can call that an episode. And all dreams are but another reality. Never forget. That'll be what you'll read once you know that you have caught Latios. And by the way, if the cheat didn't work and you come up to the sign and that's what it reads, that's how you'll know. So, yeah, be aware of that. Anyways, Latios is holding a Soul Dew, which I do believe increases both the special attack and special defense of the Latios or Latias that is holding it. So, with all of that said, you know what? Actually, let's head back. There's nothing here to see or do in this forgettable island. What do we say we sell back? Sure, nothing to see or do except for catch a really cool Pokemon. Let's go and take a look at that Soul Dew real quick and all of the Pokemon that we have caught over the last few episodes before we call this one. Because really all that's left is 2 more episodes, one of which is going to be quite the adventure and is going to take me a very long time to put together, so there might be another break between episodes. I apologize for that. And then, of course, the last one, which is very exciting, and I can't wait to do that as well. So, here we got all of our legendaries. Latios, Mew, Ho-Oh, Lugia. All right, Deoxys in its speed form. Beautiful. Look at this box. It's so beautiful. Okay, so does it actually show... Here, let me... Well, actually, I think I could just move and swap you out for... Let's put Ghidorah in here really quickly. I'm going to have a completely different team here in the near future anyway. But I just want to take a look at this item real quick. Okay, so let's go into our items. I want to be absolutely sure I'm correct about what the Soul Dew does. So, yeah, okay. Does raise the special attack and special defense of Latios and Latias. You only get one, though, which, I mean, that's fine. You just have to interchange it between either one when you're using them. But do keep in mind that Latias, Latios, and all other event Pokemon, as well as the Regis that you have caught, are usable in the Battle Frontier. So if you need to have an easier time, you want just focus on training those things up and making them stronger, and it'll actually make the Battle Frontier a little bit more of a breeze. The only Pokemon that I believe you cannot use in the Battle Frontier are Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre. And then no, you know what? Actually, I think that is it. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Pokemon Urban. I hope you all enjoyed it very much. In the next episode, we're going to be tackling the contest scene, and it is going to be a doozy, but I'm going to show you guys the absolute easiest and most efficient method of working your way through every single type of contest on every single type of difficulty with just one Pokemon. See you all then.